I'm here today filming a video about self-harm relapse. It happens to the best of us. You know, it happens to us. It happens to the people we care about. It happens to our friends. And this video is for the people that have friends or loved ones that have struggled with self-harm and have recently relapsed and are struggling with that. And this video is also for the people that relapsed themselves and are struggling with accepting it. Hi, so it's me, you know, your wonderful little local comedian, I guess. So my specific form of self-harm that I was doing was cutting. That's a very common one, as well as burning and other things. Some other things can be like hitting yourself, and that's classified as self-harm. But I had this really bad relapse about a year ago, I'd say. Not even a year ago, maybe 8 months, maybe 8 to 9 months ago, I had a really bad relapse. So pretty much I was like free of self-harm. One might say clean of self-harm for roughly three, almost 4 months. Maybe I was going on 5 months, and that was gonna be like this really big celebration for me. And I was just like, 5 months, wow, that's a lot, right? That's a long time to like stay away from something that's pretty much been, you know, towering over your life for a long time. And even a day feels long sometimes when it's really bad. But yeah, and then there's this one day I was just like, my urges were just knocking at my door all the time. And I was just like, dude, like the urges are every day. I can feel myself. I can feel it. I can physically feel in my body when I feel like I'm going to relapse. It's this feeling like I just know I'm gonna do it. I don't know when, but I feel like it's coming soon. And I had that feeling right before I did it. I came home and I sat on my bed, and I was feeling kind of emotionally numb, but also overwhelmed at the same time by everything that was going on in my life. Like, I had like this emotional blockage to all the crazy things that was happening in my life. And then I sat down and I opened this little 10 box that I have with like mint, and I was just like, I'm going to do this because like I know this is dumb. I know I shouldn't. I'm so close to just hitting this mark, and I need to hit this mark, and I can do this. But at the same time, I felt so like there was nothing I could do that could possibly stop myself from doing it. But I did it on that day, and that same day I sat in my bed, I wrapped myself in my blanket, and I just cried to sad music. And there was nothing truly, like, I don't think I've ever had a relapse that bad. Like, I tried to quit, but I never seriously tried to quit before until that moment. So that was my first time trying to seriously stay clean, and then relapsing, and that was very hard on me. And I was searching for something because I was like, I can't believe I just did this. For me, I felt like I failed myself, and I felt everything. Because how can't I keep myself from doing something so simple? It's my hands, my object. I can get rid of this object. Why am I doing this to myself, right? So I was ashamed. I was feeling guilty. I regretted it more than anything, because I was like, I'm so close. And in my mind at that moment, I felt like that one day, that one moment in time erased everything I did over those 5 months. And I'm here to tell you that that's not what happens. All those days, all those hours, all those minutes, all those seconds, all those months, years, I don't care how long it was, no matter how long it was, just because you relapsed that one time, or that second time, or that third time, or that fourth time, however many times you've tried, and you've been overwhelmed, and you went back to a coping mechanism that's just not healthy for you in the long run. Every time you did that, it doesn't erase the fact that you were clean for all those days. You were not adhering to that habit for days, for minutes, for months, for years. That doesn't erase all that time you spent without it. So just think, that was one moment. You like caved just a little bit, just for a moment. it doesn't take away that time that you were, away from it. And I think that really helped me a lot, seeing that, oh, I was like clean for so many days before that one moment that I felt like helpless and overwhelmed and I just gave in. That helped a lot. But also another thing, I talked to someone and they said to me something that I think is really impactful, and I wanted to make sure there was a video out there on the internet from made by anyone, just anyone in general, but I wanted to make sure it existed, where someone told everyone who's ever struggled with self-harm, or someone who's like has a loved one of self-harm, progress isn't linear. It's not something that's going to always be up here or down here. It's going to fluctuate, and it's up to us to really just acknowledge that fact. It's not always going to be an uphill battle. It's not always going to be a downhill battle, right? It's going to change, and it's going to have its ups and its downs. And as long as we remember that progress isn't linear, it's not something that always goes up or always goes down, we should give ourselves a little bit of grace for the time that we did try to do things. And now I'm sitting here, like I was 4 months clean. I'm sitting here now with that, and I sat here and I think being right where I am, and the mental thought that now I'm in a place where it's just like, oh, I can forgive myself. Forgive yourself for that one relapse moment. Forgive yourself for all of those moments, because as long as you're actively trying, if you're actively trying and you really are trying your best and you think you're giving it your all, and even if maybe people around you don't see it and you're giving it your all, then that moment you should forgive yourself for that. Remember, progress isn't linear, and that things are going to get better. Whether you see it yet or not, there's always something out there. I don't know what you believe in, but all I know is that I believe life evens itself out for the good and the bad, and you might not see it coming yet, but I think your life is going to even out and balance out. Just stay fighting for it. Stay walking for it. Stay walking for the people that are around you that have to like watch you suffer, and they don't want to see that. Like, it's hard for you. I know it is, right? It's hard for them too. So just take a deep breath. You got this. That was one moment. Progress isn't linear. That was one day, one moment in your life. And I know for a fact that everyone who clicked on this video has enough strength to do it on their own. Don't be afraid to ask for help, by the way. That's what I did. I asked for help. I leaned on someone, and that's how I personally got past that and forgave myself for that and became strong enough to, come back to where I left off. But yeah, I guess that's about it. I am sending love to all of you. I know you're strong enough to stay clean in whatever way that means for you. And I know I'm strong enough to do it too. And together we shall grow. Peace and love, you beautiful people. I will see you guys in a different video. I know this video is kind of short, but I really just wanted to get this short, concise message out that just, it's hard, but it's okay, and you can move past it, and you can still acknowledge that moment, but also in a different way. It's heavy, but over time it becomes lighter.